Kind of makes you cringe when you cut up a card that you made, but you know what? Hello and welcome back to my channel and this year's Crafty Advent calendar from Spellbinders series, where we make a card every single day from the Crafty Advent calendar and then disappear for the rest of the year. Will that happen again this year? I'm not really sure, but all I can say is that this calendar seems to get more beautiful every single year. I don't know how they do it. I thought for sure they couldn't improve upon last year's calendar, and this year they somehow have. I don't know how they do it. All right, let's just open it up and see what's inside for day one. This year I thought I might show the process of myself making the card every day. Will that continue? I don't know. I'm going to try for the first day at least, so I can guarantee you that I will show you the process of making at least the first card. And then what happens after that? I have no idea because I'm a spontaneous person. All right, let's open it up. Look at this. You could put this on the wall. This is beautiful. Oh my gosh. This is beautiful. Can you save each door? You know what? This calendar is so beautiful. I am pretty sure I'm just going to save each door and do something with the doors because I'm in awe of this. All right, let's move right ahead to day one, which is in the one position, very easy to find. And how easy will it be to open the door this year? Oh, not bad. Oh, I ruined the door already. Oh, I ripped it. My mother always says you're not careful, and you know what? She's right. I wonder if I can just somehow repair that. Ooh, there's a little piece of tissue paper. They have added protection this year. There's a little piece of tissue paper behind the door. And otherwise, it's pretty easy to get out. Okay, what have we got here? It's a die set, that's for sure. Let me just get a piece of paper. Okay, here we are with a piece of paper. What will the first die set be? Poke. Okay, I see some words. That says you. I woof you. Okay, that's cute. There's going to be a dog here, I can tell. There's some paws. Some paws. That looks like a large bow. There, those are the paws. Eyes. You know what? I think I may have to cut out the pieces to actually be able to figure this out. I think it's obviously got to be a dog, and it says I woof you, which is super cute. All right, stay tuned. So I've placed the dies for the dog down onto some 120-pound cardstock, and they are now going between two very well-loved cutting plates, and I'm rolling them right on through my die cut machine. And instead of using colored paper or colored cardstock, I've decided to use Copic markers to color them. And to do that, I've used this piece of black cardstock, which I've put repositionable adhesive onto on both sides. So that allows it to be stuck down to both my glass mat and allows the top surface to be sticky so that when I take my die cuts off, I can put them onto that mat and easily color them so that the little pieces don't fly around all over the place when I'm trying to color them. So essentially it's like making a very small sticky mat for myself instead of buying the commercially made ones. So here's a picture of the colors of Copic marker that I'll be using. And the reason I wanted to use Copic markers was because I just felt it would be faster, because you just have to die cut the pieces out of one color of cardstock and then color them quickly. And because Copic markers are so even, you don't have to worry too much at all, actually, when you're coloring them. As you can see, I'm going very quickly. I mean, I have sped this up, but the process doesn't take very long. The only thing you have to be careful about is coloring the sides. You know, if you're a little bit fussy, you want to color the sides of the die cuts because they can be white if you don't go around the side of them. So you'll see me doing that. So in this process, I've colored the ears a dark brown and the body a lighter brown. And I'm going to color the feet a darker brown because I'm not going to put the feet where I'm showing you there with my finger. I'm going to put them underneath the dog instead. And so because there's two embossed spots there, I'm going to color them in and try to make it look as though those are spots on the dog's fur, because like I said, I'm not going to put the dog's feet there. And then I go ahead and I make some whisker dots with my Copic marker as well. And then I'm going to transfer the pieces onto another piece of cardstock so that I can glue them together. And just after I started gluing them together, I realized that I had colored one of the pieces incorrectly because I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit confused about this shape or this figure. I had trouble kind of figuring out what it was at first. I didn't really realize it was a dog, and then I mistook the collar for the shadow piece at the bottom of the dog, and I guess I colored it improperly. But anyway, you can see me putting the feet underneath the dog here. And then when I go to put this, okay, then I'm going to put the tongue. No, I've already put the tongue. I'm going to put the nose. The nose is pretty easy to put down. But then when I go to put the last piece down, I've colored it as like a collar, and I realized that the piece I colored like a collar is actually the piece that is supposed to be the shadow. As you can see, I put the collar down at the bottom and realized that the other piece was actually the collar. So I went ahead and here's where you see I'll be like, what's going on here now? Oh, I already put a piece there. So I went ahead and cut another piece and colored it properly. And I will put that piece at the bottom of the dog. And then I went ahead and colored another collar, and I'll put the collar where the collar is supposed to go. There. So I colored the collar a dark blue because the background of the card is going to be dark blue, and I knew that in advance, so I colored it navy. And then the little piece that's like the dog tag, I'll place on top, and we'll be all done. So as you can see, it goes pretty quickly when you just color the pieces rather than cut them out of different colors of cardstock. So the theme for the card is going to be a prize ribbon, and I'm showing you that the dies that I'm using include this set of nesting dies, which is the oldest in my collection, and it's from Spellbinders. It's a Pinking Circles die set, and I'm cutting out a shape out of glitter cardstock, which is from a Recollections paper pad of glitter cardstock. And the other two die sets I use, or the other die set I use, is the circular postal edge die set from Spellbinders, and I'm using 2 layers from that set. So the top layer I'm going to color using my Distress ink, and it's the color Candied Apple. And I'm just going to use a piece of paper to cover the die cut from my fingers, because we all know that if you use your fingers to hold down something that you are inking, your fingers will turn the same color as that ink. And I didn't want to ruin my card by getting fingerprints all over it, so I'm using a little shimmy there just to keep it covered while I color it. And then we're all ready to glue all 3 layers together. And so I'm just cleaning up my work surface because there's ink on the work surface as well. And all 3 layers are going to get glue on them. And then we will proceed with making the bottom section of the prize ribbon. And for the bottom section of the prize ribbon, I used an actual ribbon. So I just want to say in advance that I used an actual ribbon because I had a red ribbon that was the right color, and I wanted to use something that would be a little bit different. You know, I wanted to incorporate a different texture into the card, so I thought, oh, this will be perfect. But I want to tell you that not only can you use just a paper to simulate the ribbon, just use a piece of paper is what I'm trying to say. Just use a red piece of cardstock, because this ribbon was more trouble than it was worth. First of all, it wasn't the right width, so I ended up cutting it lengthwise. And you shouldn't ever cut a ribbon lengthwise because it tends to fray. And I couldn't get it straight. Like, I just kept hacking at it, and in the end it turned out all right. But I think looking back, I would just say to you, the viewer, if you're going to recreate a card like this, I would just use a piece of red cardstock, because it would just be so much easier. As you can see, I'm having trouble sort of cutting the ribbon. Like ribbon, you should always have a pair of very sharp scissors. And it's not that my scissors weren't sharp, it's that just getting that little fishtail correct was not easy. And then anyway, so then I used a second piece of ribbon because I thought it would be even nicer to stack the ribbon. So I had this piece of gold ribbon, or a roll of gold ribbon, and I decided to use that on top. And that all went well. That ribbon was the right width, so all I had to do was cut the little fishtail, and then I just proceeded to make sure that they looked correct. They were the correct size and proportions, and then I went ahead and glued them. So one of the things about gluing fabric is that glue will spot the fabric. It'll go right through, as you can see here. It'll leave a stain. So you have to be mindful of that. If you're going to place glue on an actual ribbon, you have to make sure that that part is going to be hidden from viewing. So this is why I'm saying I think it would just be a lot easier if you just used paper, because it's just easier. But anyway, I did get it looking the way I wanted it to, and I think that it's kind of cute that it has, a different textural element to it, and it looks maybe just a little bit more like ribbon. So I'm just sort of pressing it all down there, getting it to stay. And there's my completed prize ribbon. But as you can see, I was kind of like, they're not quite the right width, and it was kind of wavy. It wasn't straight, and I was just fussing at it, and it kind of drove me crazy. But in the end, I think it looked nice. So here I've got the word dies, and I'm poking them out of the original paper that they were in. And I'm going to proceed to glue them down onto the bottom of the ribbon, which is kind of a different place to put a sentiment on a card, but they just fit there, and I thought it was kind of cute, and I like it. It's unexpected. You just need a pokey tool or some tweezers to get the little middles of these are very tiny words. I just want to say too about if anybody was watching my series last year on the Advent calendar in December, I want to apologize because I disappeared around the 21st of November. I didn't finish my series, and it was because I developed a severe tendinitis in my left arm, and I basically lost the use of that arm for a couple of weeks, and I was off work for about 3 months. Because my job involves using my arm quite a bit. So I basically couldn't do anything after the 21st. I did make the cards because I'd already made them, but I never showed them or photographed them or anything. So hopefully this year my arm is in use as of the 21st of December and straight through to the end. So here we are. I'm just placing the dog down, and that completes the mini prize ribbon. Then I get out a 3D embossing folder called Orange Peel Quilt, and I chose that one because it has sort of a circular shape to it, and I thought that would mimic the top of the prize ribbon being sort of circular itself. And to embellish that a little bit, I got out my Winsor & Newton gold ink. And I love this gold ink because it's just the perfect color of gold. And if you buy this, the way I bought it anyway, it came in a set of 4. And in the set you get gold, silver, white, and what's the other color? Oh, I've forgotten. Black. Gold, silver, white, and black. Anyway, I'm going to spatter the back of the background with this nice gold ink. It's just the perfect color of gold. I just love it. It's just, the only thing about this is you have to shake it a little bit before you use it. Last year I made this card, or maybe it was 2 years ago now, I can't remember. I didn't particularly love the card. As you can see, I never even made it into a card. So I was thinking I should cannibalize this card because I kind of like this number 1, and I felt like it could go on the card that I have today. So let's see how good of a job I did at sticking this down. Oh darn, I did a really good job. Because this gold foil paper doesn't want to be bent. It doesn't take well to bending. So let's see. Bend the rest of the card and see if I can get it off without, like, with it looking half decent. Let me just, it kind of makes you cringe when you cut up a card that you made, but you know what, this card has been sitting around for 2 years, and it's just taking up space. I had my fun making it. Whoops. Okay, let's see if I can, let me just cut around there. Could also use this birthday sentiment too. Okay, that ink now, I don't know if you can see, but it almost looks like it's dried already, so let's see, does this look better like that or like that? That's a good question. So after I twirled the background around for about 3 minutes, I decided that it should go a certain way, and then I got to cutting the foam tape for the back of the prize ribbon so that it could sit up a little bit off the paper, and so that there would be some dimension to the card. I have a lot of trouble deciding on little details of the card, so I have to edit out big sections of my card making process because I just can't decide things quickly. Do we dare to use a tape runner? Let's see. Tape runners are not forgiving. I know I can put some glue on the back of this, but let's see if I can get away with not doing that. Let's line up the corners. Let's line up the corners. Okay. So then I went ahead and cut off the sentiment from that other card because the paper matched the paper that is in the background of this card, and I thought, why waste that nice foiling? I might as well just cut it up and stick it on this card. So that's what I did. And then I finished it off by putting some dimensionals on either end of the sentiment and placing it down right there. And that's it for today's card. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you stay tuned for the rest of the series, and if you do, I'll see you on day 2. Bye-bye.